The decline. The decline of the individual contributes to the decline of society. And it's a point of view by many that ultimately we are the element of our own demise, and that's how it's going to go. From the structure of society contributing towards the desensitization and the decline of the individual, goes towards contributing to the decline of society. You've got a fall and a failing of nations, and when you are on the world stage and that weak link nation is pulling down the rest of the world. So it's like a grain that starts and then it expands and it grows into overlapping affecting everything, right? So the fate of our society and of the world can be traced back to the actual failure of the individual. In a big, broad nutshell, that is what these guys are saying about. I can't focus and get the big, broad picture in my mind when there are lyrics on the screen. It, in a way, doesn't really help me. I don't like reading lyrics as I go along because I don't get the full force of what is being said. I don't get the big pictures in my head because I'm so focused on reading, right? So I only get it like at 50%, but when I'm not paying attention to reading lyrics or whatnot, then I can get it in a little bit more force. That's why I wasn't really focused on the lyrics. So I would have to go back, listen a few more times with the lyrics to fill it in a little bit more, and then a few more times after that. But yeah, that's why I don't like having lyrics on the screen. I know a lot of you say to me, yeah, make sure that you have the lyrics up and all that, but I found that it doesn't help me, right? So in saying that though, I think that I have a big enough picture of this song. Man, it's saying some serious stuff, but a lot of things that we already know, and it's just one person's point of view in how it goes, and this is their approach to it. This is their thought patterns. The collapse of eventually society and the world can be traced all the way back to the failure of the individual. What's contributing towards the failure of the individual? All of the stuff that we have in mass, all of the stuff that is distracting, all the things that desensitize us as individual moral beings, all of those things. So we are our own undoing, of course. So that's what they're saying. Interesting dynamics, man. We can sit and we can talk and deliberate about this song for a long time. And I'm sure a number of you have listened to this song for years, just getting more out of it, dissecting it piece by piece, bit by bit, and still going back, That's what this song would do to me anyway. I would have to come back to it a number of times. Interesting song. And I like how they utilize the musicianship. They dip, they slow down, sometimes there's breaks in it, and then they hit you with a little bit of thunder, they slow it down, and so they've got you completely, they've got your attention 100%, because it slows down and then it picks up fast. It slows down again and it just moves in all these different directions. So yeah, really good use of the musicianship, especially to get you to pay attention and to get your attention and hold it. NOFX. And again, forgive me if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Maybe I should be saying NOFX, or maybe I should be pronouncing it as a word, NOFX. But I'm just going to say NOFX. Don't kick the shit out of me if I'm wrong. Let's check this out, man. Let's do a little background. Let's check out the lads first. The band, and then see the lads and ladies if there are ladies in the band, and then let's see, take a look at the music itself, the song itself. NOFX. NOFX is an American punk rock band formed in LA in 1983. Vocalist and bassist Fat Mike, guitarist Eric Melvin, and drummer Eric Sandin are original founding and longest serving members of the band, who have appeared on every release of the band, although Sandin departed briefly in '85, only to rejoin the following year. Heffy joined the band in '91 to play lead guitar and trumpet, rounding out the current lineup. NOFX's mainstream success coincided with increased interest in punk rock during the 90s, though unlike many of their contemporaries, including Bad Religion, Green Day, and The Offspring, they have never been signed to a major label. NOFX has released 14 studio albums, 16 extended plays, and a number of 7-inch singles. The band rose to popularity with their 5th studio album, Punk in Drublic, or is it Drublic? Drublic, which is their only release to receive gold certification by the RIAA. Their latest studio album, single album, was released February 26, 2021. The group has sold over 8 million records worldwide, making them one of the most successful independent bands of all time. NOFX broadcast their own show on Fuse TV entitled NOFX Backstage Passport. The Decline. The Decline is an EP by NOFX. It was released on November 23, 1999. The CD version consisted of only the 18-minute title track, but the vinyl included a different version of Clams Have Feelings Too from Pump Up the Volume on the B-side. The Decline is largely a satire of American politics and law, with an overwhelming concern for blind behaviors of the masses, such as complacency, indifference, gun violence, drug use, and conformity, as well as destruction of constitutional rights and condemnation of the religious right. Although the lyrics are somewhat disjointed, they all refer back to the unifying theme of the decline of America. Yeah, or of a society, or of the world society. The trombone is played by Lars Nylander of Skankin' Pickle. Skankin' Pickle. That sounds rude as hell, doesn't it? According to the band, the recording of The Decline was a nightmare. Recording this fuck was a total nightmare. Writing it was a total nightmare. I'm glad we did it, but I wouldn't do it again. We went back to the studio 3 different times and added stuff and remixed and remastered 4 times. It ain't no rock opera like the song remains the same or nothing. We got the idea from Subhumans, not Rush. Why an 18-minute song? Just to be different. We've done enough short songs, time for a long one. Anyway, my advice, never try this song at home, unquote. It doesn't tell me who was speaking these words, one of the band members. The first 155 copies were pressed on clear vinyl, a version which is no longer available. The first 1 minute and 20 seconds of a live version of The Decline is played as an encore after Stickin' in My Eye on They've Actually Gotten Worse Live, released in 2007, before being faded out. A DVD featuring a live performance of The Decline was released September 12, 2012. In 2016, an orchestral arrangement was released as part of the Mild in the Streets Fat Music Unplugged compilation album recorded by Baz and his orchestra. Additionally, a video of the performance has been released. In 2019, NOFX and Baz's orchestra recorded a live version while performing at the Red Rocks Amphitheater in Morrison, Colorado, and is used subsequently published in 2020. and was subsequently published in 2020. And okay, and we got a review here by AllMusic. AllMusic says, for a band whose members are known for not taking themselves too seriously, the decline is a serious affair. If such a genre exists, progressive punk would be the best way to describe the single 18-plus minute track that makes up this EP. There are drastic lyrical shifts in the decline. Cynical tongue-in-cheek prose gives way to warnings concerning the glorification of violence. What follows is a diatribe covering the hypocrisy of the judicial system, the mind-numbing effects of television, and the loss of integrity. The conceptual thread that seems to connect all is a general apathy in the collective consciousness of America. As Fat Mike sings, the going gets tough, the tough get debt. The tough get debt. Don't pay attention, pay the rent. Or next of kins pays for your sins. NOFX has delivered its rallying cry for independent thought, and it is the decline. Okay. That is AllMusic. An AllMusic review of The Decline. It's a throwback to the influence of Black Sabbath, isn't it? The way Black Sabbath constructed their songs. I'm talking about the early Black Sabbath years, the Aussie years, where they were singing War Pigs, Children of the Grave, Snowblind, all of these different songs that were sending warnings. And of course, they were back in the 60s when things were very, very anxious back in the day. You had the Vietnam War, you had the Cold War, you had all of the uprisings and all of the things. And so they're looking at their environment back then, and they were singing, they were making assertions and they were making observations about the current situation and giving warning to the dire consequences that could follow if things do not change, right? So when I listen to War Pigs, I think about all of those things, and in the end, behind all of it, it's a call to action for change, a call to action for awareness, a call to action to exercise your individual right and not just be a damn sheep, right? So fast forward a couple of decades, and that's exactly what these lads are also singing, how they're expressing themselves. They're expressing themselves slightly different, but a lot of the message is the same. And it's basically now contemporarily in our time, you know. But yeah, pretty much the call to action and the message and the dire warning, the warning of dire consequences that could follow if a change does not happen, that's the basis of this song. Wow, very, very interesting. 18 minutes. So that concludes my look at NOFX. Thanks, Jake. This was very, very interesting. This platform is cool in the sense that from one day to another, man, I have no idea what I'm going to be checking out. You know, from one day it's Latin grooves, the next day it's progressive punk, the next day after that it's Motown. It's just such a mixed bag. I really dig it for that, man. I'm just checking out my notes here. Yeah, man, I got reactions I gotta hit up this week. Rob, RHCP, Joshua, Marco, got some reactions coming up for you folks. There's a couple of new patrons in here. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to hitting that up. I know in this lineup, is it Joshua? I think it's a Tool quad. And there's a progressive metal quad, and there's an album reaction. And sorry, I can't remember. When I get these, it's sometimes weeks in advance, and you know, by the time I get to it weeks later, I've forgotten exactly what But yeah, that's what we got going on. That's what we got in the shoot, man. So Jake, thank you again. Jake is also, I don't know if Jake is a new subscriber to the channel, but he's a new patron. Jake, thank you very much. I appreciate this recommendation, man. Hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you guys got something out of this as well. That was a really, really interesting look. An 18-minute song talking about all kinds of socio-political topics, man, let me tell you. All right, y'all. Have yourselves a good one. Take care, and I'll catch you in another reaction. Peace.